Hello all, welcome back to Shaving with Peg Leg. Appreciate you being here. Let's start off first, before we go anywhere in the shave. I got a package in. Okay. And it's wanted to be a pain in the knuckleheads to get open. Packing slip in here? Yes, there is. Okay. This comes to us all the way from Hungary. Yes, Hungary. Paid $29 for it. Then there was tax and shipping, and it came to a total of $36.44, I think it was. I'm just rounding up. Oh wait. Supernova stainless steel. Do not wipe the blade. Five blades. The Tabula Rasa Hussar. Double-edged razor, made in Hungary. Like a single and double ring, comes apart like so. I'm looking for markings. Nothing on it. Nothing on the base plate, nothing on the cap. Nothing on the tube. But there is see if I can hold it right so you guys can see it. I can't read it without magnifying glass. But the name of it is imprinted on the handle. So, it's like a single ring. It was made in Hungary. I thought it was neat because, you know me, I like strange shit. I mean, it's not really strange, but it's just made in Hungary. So, how many razors do you have made in Hungary? I have one. And that was my fascination with it. Plus the name Hussar. I've always had a thing. I like military history and military stories. There used to be a group back in the 1400s, 1200s to 1400s. They were called the Winged Hussars. The Polish Winged Hussars. They had wings on their backs, and when they rode into battle on their horses, the wings on their backs would flutter, and it would scare the enemy's horses, and it would also scare their infantry because it made such a clatter. But the wings didn't come out like this. They were like on poles, sticking straight up off their back, and they had long feathers flowing off of them, and they would flap in the wind as they rode. Okay, on to the shave. Just something. I forgot the name of the razor that I'm using today. And I can't read it off the bottom of the razor. It's the Otto Roth. God, it's like squirrel, man, and that's where the thought went, way over there. The handle is one piece. It does not unscrew here. It unscrews from right there against the base plate. The Otto Roth with the new type or new style head. It's got the solo bar running that way. This is pre-Gillette buyout of Otto Roth. And soap, we're using Crowne Crane Barista. Barista has tallow, grass-fed tallow. Don't know where it matters. There's a hint of coffee, lemon, and apple in the top notes. Middle notes are an herbal mix of lavender, spearmint, and orange flower, absolute. And the base notes are Sri Lankan Sandalwood and cedarwood with sweetened steamed milk to give it a creamy warmth in the base. It's a good scent. I like it. I like coffee scents anyways. And it's based on Maison Margiela cologne coffee break. That's the scent it's based on. I'm going to pause, whip my cast iron bowl, got the soap down there. This bowl's been on the heater since before I went in the shower to give it a chance to get hot because it is cast iron and it takes a while for the heat to travel through it. But it is warming up rather nicely. It's almost too hot to hold on the bottom. The sides are okay, the bottom's pretty hot. And I'll be right back after I whip that lather up. Alright, we're back. I got that Hashir or Harry Ali handle that I used, and I reknotted, and I'm using this brush again because I'll probably be using it a few times, just losing a few hairs since it's new, just to get the rest of the scrunchiness out of that razor or the brush knot. I should have my fan on, but I don't. Well, let me tell you what, the lather's nice and warm because that bowl is really... After I sit here and told you guys it's really warm on the bottom. The sides are okay, but it's really warm on the bottom. I picked the bowl up like this, with this hand, and set it in this hand. After I went and told you guys that the bottom of it was getting rather warm. It was a quick pick up again. Dumbass. You know, there's all kinds of methods to breaking in a badger hair or a boar knot. What I found for breaking in boars, I've got several boars, and I've had to break them, most of them in. Well, especially the new ones I bought. The best method for me is to put them in hot water to start with a little bit of hair conditioner and just mix it up. You know, use the brush to stir it up, get it all mixed up nice. And then every 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever, you come in the bathroom again, stir it up, mix it up again, and let it sit for at least a day. I went like 36 hours with this one, and it's got very little scrunch to it. It's almost completely soft. So that's one of the best ways I've found to... Some guys use the freezer method. I've never done the freezer method. I've always used that. Oh, the blade in here is a L01. I don't think it's a 0 because the O is tall and narrow, not short and fat. Short and fat's usually a 0. Tall and narrow is usually an O. Am I right, or or is that? Have I got it backwards? I might have it backwards. I don't know. I'm freaking brain dead. You guys know that. Swedish steel, titanium coated. All I can tell you is I really like the blades. These blades are actually cheaper than Gillette Platinums, and they're smoother. I think they're sharper too. So, what happened on January 24th, 1848? Yes, 1848. Oops. I had one there. I just think I just opened it up again. That feels good. Yeah, I did. Opened it up. I just picked the bowl up and set it in my hand again with the bottom of it in my palm. Definitely did open that sucker up. But I do like these blades. It was the start of the California Gold Rush. That's what happened. And it lasted from 1848 until 1855. And at the time, I believe his name was James Marshall. Hang on. Yes, James Marshall. Just want to make sure I get it right. Pulled a nugget out of a stream. He was building. James Marshall he built mills and barns, farm stuff. He built farming stuff and industrial stuff. He was building a mill for John Sutter. Or is it Summit? Sutter, excuse me. All the way around it. John Sutter. He was building a mill, and the stream he was going to use to power the mill, it was for logging purposes. Sutter was going to be a logger. Plenty of trees around his land. He was going to log it all and make lumber. Okay, we're going to have to do something about that. Whoa, got myself 3 spots. My neck is not completely healed yet from that stupid super thin blade, and I opened it up last time I shaved, so it's not healed from that either. That does not feel good. Neither does that. Or that. None of that felt good. Anyways, he was going to build a mill for him, and he found a nugget of gold. Now, Sutter didn't want it getting out that there was gold on his property because he knew what would happen. He knew there'd be an influx and flood of people to his property trying to lay claim to his land and take the gold. At the time that the nugget was found, Mexico still owned California. And it wasn't until after the Mexican-American War, and the ending of the war on February 2nd of 1848, and remember this was found January 24th, 1848, and the war between Mexico and the United States didn't end until February 2nd. And then California, at the end of the war, became a possession of the United States. So it was still Mexican territory when it was found, and they didn't want word getting out because he didn't want people coming and taking up his property. Now, he swore everybody to secrecy and at the mill, all his employees, everybody. And he sent Charles Bennett to Monterey, California, to meet with Colonel Mason, who was the chief U.S. authority in California, because California was under military rule at the time, because it wasn't a state yet, and it wasn't set up to be a state or a province or anything. It was Mexican until just a few days before this happened. And he sent him there to secure the mineral rights to the land where the mill stood. Bennett was not to tell anyone of the discovery of gold, period. But when he stopped in Benicia, Benicia, he heard talk about the discovery of coal near Mount Diablo, and he blurted out of the discovery of gold at Sutter's mill. Dumbass. And then he continued on his travels to San Francisco, where again he could not keep the secret. At Monterey, Mason declined to make any judgment of title to lands and mineral rights, and Bennett for the third time revealed the gold discovery to Mason, to the colonel. Okay. You know, peoples need to learn to keep their mouth shut. Kind of waiting on this one to stop bleeding a little bit before I continue. All right, what in the 7 years, like I said, it was 1848 to 1855 was the gold rush. In those 7 years, tens of billions of dollars was pulled out of California in gold. Tens of billions. And what they used to do is they used to transport large amounts of it by steamship down the coast of the United States, down the coast of Central America to Panama, where it was really narrow, where the Panama Canal was eventually built. And they had a wagon train that went, I think they had a railroad train at one point too, that went from west coast to Panama to the east coast of Panama and east coast of Panama to west coast, back and forth. And they'd ship it to the other side of Panama, put it on a steamship, and take it back up to New York and Philadelphia. Okay. On one of those journeys, the SS, Central America, sank in a hurricane off the coast of the Carolinas in 1857 with approximately 3 tons of California gold on board. 3 tons. I wonder how many treasure hunters have been diving off the Carolina coast looking for, I've never looked it up to see if they found any yet or not. I should have looked it up to see if anybody actually found the wreckage of that ship to claim the gold. 3 tons of gold. Okay. Crowne Crane, I'm learning. I need to use more soap than what I'm putting in the bowl, because I probably would have had enough if I hadn't done this, but I did do that, so. But the discovery of gold, once it got announced, it made the New York Post, it made everything. Once it was let out, people from Hawaii, China, Europe, Australia, and South America and Central America made their way to California, plus people from the East Coast looking to get in on the gold find. There was a Mr. Bennett who ran a newspaper in California who became the biggest profiteer of the gold rush, because he was one of the first ones to find out that gold had been discovered. So he immediately bought up all the gold panning equipment and tools he could find and opened a store to sell just gold mining equipment. The pans, the picks, the shovels, everything. He bought it all. And he capitalized on it. He ended up owning several stores across the state just to sell gold mining, gold panning equipment. And he was one of the biggest profiteers. A lot of the people that came to mine the gold left with less money than they arrived with. A lot of them went broke. They went belly up. They never found a damn thing. I'm not going to get a face wash this day. I can tell you that much right now. Unless we just do that. That's good enough. So, yeah, a lot of people went broke. But the thing that really was the saddest part of the whole deal is the Native American tribes that were in California at the time. Some of those people were completely exterminated. What happened was so many people were moving into their gathering lands, their hunting lands, their tribal ancestral lands, and they fought back. They'd attack the invaders. And when they did, the white people would all gather up in a big bunch, go attack the Indian village, and wipe out every one of them. And several tribes disappeared from the face of the earth during the California Gold Rush because of it. In California, in 1850, when it became a state, in 1850, passed a law that was a foreign miner's tax. It was $20 per month, the equivalent of, I think it's $650. The equivalent of $650 a month in 2023 money. If you were not white, you had to pay the state $20 a month to have a permit to mine for gold in California. Now, some of the Native Americans, they had no use for gold, but they knew the white man did. And some of them searched on their land and their streams and everything on their territory, and they found gold. And the missionaries at the time would go into the tribes, because missionaries were always with the tribes trying to convert them to Christianity. And they said, don't you go into town trying to get rid of the gold, because the people will know that it's on your land, and they'll come in and kill you all to get your land and get your gold. Give your gold to me, I'll take it in and cash it and get your money and bring it back to you. So priests being priests, They took all these Indians' gold, took it into town to cash it in, took the money, and said, "See ya," and they skipped. I guess back then it wasn't so much you had to have sex with little kids. You rip people off. Okay. We're doing good. I'm clean. I'm BBS. That was a good shave. Yeah, I got myself. I opened myself up in a couple of spots that had been previously open. A broken chunk. And that's about a full point on the cheek. And that's about a 3 on that side and about a 5 on this side. Oh, right there. That's a 5. It's a 3 everywhere else. That right there is a 5. And it's only about a point on the cheek. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. Push that away. Take that off of that heater's pad so it'll cool down a little bit so I can wash it and put it away. But yeah, that was, you know, the Indians got totally screwed in that deal. The white man had always been screwing the Indians anyways, but they really screwed them on that. Because they'd come in and just infiltrate their area when the Indians tried to defend their land, their homes, their property. White settlers would band together, and of course the Indians were outgunned. Avon, wild country. Does not really go with the coffee scent, but that's okay. And it doesn't really go with the open spots on my neck either. Hi-ho. The Cannonball Express. Nivea Max Hydration. Oh, way too much. Way too much. But that was the California gold rush. Tens of billions of dollars pulled out in 7 years in gold. Tens of billions of dollars in gold pulled out in 7 years. And in the 7-year time, California went from being a place with a few encampments. San Francisco at the time only had 200 people in it when the gold rush started in 1848. It only had 200 people in it. And in 7 years, the population of California jumped from a few thousand, I think it was like 23,000 people in the whole state, to 300,000. And that's when they applied for statehood in 1850, because more people were still coming in. But at the height of its influx, 300,000 people came in 7 years to mine for gold, ban for gold. Money will make people do crazy shit, won't it? All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here. Don't forget the affiliate link. It's a good shave. The Otto Roth, new style, new type, Gillette head, copy. And then Gillette bought Otto Roth out and started making their razors in the Otto Roth factory in New Jersey. So, thanks for being here. Don't forget the affiliate link. When it hits $25, I will get a $25 gift card to the razor company, give it away to you guys. And don't forget to check out the 4 links I'll post in the description box. Those guys help boost their numbers up. Give them a like and a subscribe. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you very much. I still got to take care of this thing. I got myself good. I opened that up and I didn't want to, and I forgot about it, and I went right over it. I was going to go around it, and I forgot and went right over it and took the scab right off of it. And it's going to be a bitch on me. All right. Anyways, take care, all. Appreciate you being here. Enough of the babbling fat guy in the camera. You're in the chair next. Happy shaves out there.